In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. God's decree of judgment will most surely come to pass. So do not seek to hasten it. Highly exalted is He, and most high, far above all that they associate as gods with Him. He alone sends down the angels with the divine inspiration of His command to whomever He so wills of His chosen servants, saying to them, "You shall forewarn the people that there is no God but me. So fear me, all of you." He alone created the heavens and the earth with the very essence of all truth. Most high is He, far above all that they associate as gods with Him. He alone has created man from a mere sperm drop. Then, behold, he becomes openly contentious against his Creator. And as for the cattle of every kind, He alone has created them for you. In them are means of warmth for you and numerous other benefits. For them also you eat, while in them you find glorious beauty when you drive them home in the evening to rest, and when you lead them out in the morning to pasture. Moreover, they carry your heavy loads to lands you would never have otherwise reached, except with much distress to yourselves. Indeed, your Lord is all kind, mercy giving. Horses, mules, and donkeys He created as well, that you may ride them, and as worldly adornment for you. And indeed, He alone creates that of which you do not know. Thus it is for God, your Creator, to set the straight path for His seekers, for some paths are aberrant. Yet, had He so willed, He would most surely have guided all of you without choice, just as He alone is the one who sends down from the sky water for you, from which there is a drink you require, and from which plants grow, wherein you must pasture your herds. Thereby He alone causes to grow for you all types of crops, and olive trees, and date palms, and grape vines, and fruits of every kind. Indeed, in all of this, there is a sure sign for a people who would reflect on the diversity of creation and the oneness of the Creator. Moreover, He alone has subjugated for you the night and the daylight, and the sun and the moon, and to the stars too are subjugated for you by His sole command. Indeed, in all of this, there are sure signs for a people who would use their reason to understand. Thus, all creation has He alone multiplied for you upon the earth in varying colors. Indeed, in all of this, there is a sure sign for a people who would remember God with reverence. And He alone is the one who has subjugated the sea for you, such that from it you may eat tender meat, and from it you bring forth ornaments that you wear. Thus you see the ships which you sail plowing through it, so that you may seek of His bounty, and that therefore you might give thanks to God alone. Moreover, He cast into the earth anchoring mountains to balance it, so that it does not sway with you upon it as it spins. And He made rivers and roadways, so that you may be guided therein. And great landmarks did He create for travel by daylight, and by the stars are guided those who journey by night. Is He then who creates like one who does not create? Will you not then become mindful of your Creator? Thus were you to endeavor to count the blessings of God, never could you enumerate them. Indeed, God alone is most surely all forgiving, mercy giving. Thus, God knows well all that you conceal and all that you reveal. Yet those whom they call upon in worship apart from God do not create anything. Rather, they are themselves created. They are dead, not alive, nor are they even aware of when they themselves shall be raised up in the hereafter. Your God is only one God. Therefore, those who do not believe in the hereafter, their hearts are merely in utter denial, for they are arrogant. Without doubt, God knows well all that they conceal and all that they reveal. Indeed, He does not love those who are arrogant. For when it is said to them, "What did your Lord send down in this Quran?" they say, "Tales of the ancients." Thus shall they bear their own evil burdens in full on the day of resurrection, as well as a portion of the burdens of sin of those whom they led astray in life, for they misled them without revealed knowledge. Most assuredly, evil is the load they shall bear. Truly, those who disbelieved before them also schemed against their messengers. But God brought down their building from their very foundations. Then from above them the roof fell down upon them. Thus the torment came upon them from where they did not receive it. Then, on the day of resurrection, He will disgrace them, for He will say, "Where now are my associate gods, for whose sake you have fiercely opposed the believers?" Those who had been given revealed knowledge in life will say, "Indeed, this day disgrace and evil shall be heaped upon the disbelievers." Those whose souls the angels take in death, while they are still wronging themselves with unbelief, will seek then to offer full submission, saying, "We were not doing any evil." the angels will say to them, "Yes, indeed, you were. Indeed, God is all-knowing of all the evil that you were doing. So enter the gates of hell, wherein you shall abide forever, and a most woeful dwelling it is for the arrogant." Now, whenever it is said to those who are God-fearing, "What has your Lord sent down in the Quran?" they say, "All that is good." So, for those who do good in this world, there shall be great goodness in life, and more surely the abode of the hereafter is far better still. For most excellent indeed is the abode of the God-fearing. Gardens everlasting shall they enter, beneath which rivers flow. They shall have therein whatever they wish. Thus does God reward the God-fearing. Those whose souls the angels take in death, while they are good and virtuous, they shall say to them, "Peace be upon you. Enter the garden of paradise for all the good that you have been doing in the world." Then do those who disbelieve await anything other than for the angels to come to them with death, or for the command of your Lord to come with their doom? That is just what those disbelieving generations before them did. Thus, God did not wrong them in punishing them, but rather it was their own souls they were all the while wronging with ungodliness. Thus, the evil consequence of all that they themselves had done in life shall have struck them in the hereafter. For the very punishment at which they used to mock shall have whelmed them from every side. Yet those who associate gods with God say, "Had God so willed, we would not have worshipped anything apart from Him, neither we nor our forefathers, nor would we have made anything unlawful without authority from Him." That is just what those disbelieving generations before them did argue as well, contrary to our revealed guidance. Should the messengers then be obliged by God with more than the clear conveyance of His message? Indeed, we have sent forth among every community a messenger with the commandment, "You shall worship God alone and shun all false deities and objects of worship." So among them were those people whom God guided aright, and among them were those who persistently rejected guidance. Thus they deservedly remain astray. So journey in the earth and see how devastating was the end of those who belied God. Therefore, even if you, O Prophet, are profoundly eager for their guidance, know that God shall not guide those partisan unbelievers whom He leaves to stray. Thus for them there shall not be any helpers against God's punishment. Moreover, they who disbelieve have sworn by God with the utmost of their vows that God will not raise to life anyone who dies. Yes, indeed, He will. It is a true promise incumbent upon Him, though most people do not know it. Wherefore He shall resurrect all people to make evident to them the reality of the afterlife, which they now dispute, and that those who disbelieve will plainly know that they indeed were ever liars. Our only word to anything, when we intend for it to exist, is but to say to it, "Be," and so it is. Now, as to those who immigrated in the cause of God, after they had been wronged, we shall most surely settle them in an excellent abode in this world, and most surely the reward of the hereafter is far greater still, if only they knew. It is these who have endured life's trials with patience, and upon their Lord alone do they rely. Moreover, we have not sent any messengers to the generations before you, O Prophet, but mere mortal men to whom we gave revelation. So, if you who disbelieve do not know this, then ask the people of the revealed reminder who know the heavenly scriptures with clear and miraculous proofs from God and revealed writs did He send them. Thus to you, O Prophet, we have sent down the Quran as a final reminder of God's way, so that you may make clear to all people the word of God that has come down to them, and so that they may reflect on it and be guided. Then do those who devise evil schemes against the believers feel secure that God will not cause the earth to sink under them, or that the torment of God will not come upon them from where they cannot receive it? Or do they feel secure that He will not seize them suddenly with a punishment while they are going to and fro in the earth? And in no way could they elude the judgment of the Almighty. Or do they feel secure that He will not gradually overtake them until they are in the very midst of some terror? Yet indeed your Lord is most surely all kind, mercy giving. Have they not looked upon all the things that God has created, whose very shadows incline to the right and to the left, bowing their faces down to the ground before God in a state of utter humility? For to God bows down all that is in the heavens and all that is in the earth, of every kind of beast that treads it, as do the angels, and they do not grow arrogant before Him. They fear their Lord up above them, and they do whatever they are commanded. For God has said to His servants, "You shall not ever take for yourselves even two gods, for He is but one God. Thus it is me, alone you shall hold in awe. For to him alone belongs all that is in the heavens and the earth. Thus to him alone belongs the sole right of steadfast devotion in religion. Is it then other than God that you human beings shall fear? Though you have not even a single blessing, but that it is from God alone. And whereupon should harm touch you, then it is only to him that you groan. Then, when he removes the harm from you, at once a group of you associate gods with their Lord, to show their ingratitude for all the good that we have given them. So enjoy yourselves a little while, for assuredly you shall know the recompense of the ungodly. Yet, even still, they assign offsprings out of a portion of the blessings that we alone have provided them to idols that do not know anything. By God, you shall most surely be questioned in the hereafter about these lies you have forged. And as to the Arab idolaters, they ascribe daughters to God. Highly exalted is He above this, while for themselves sons are all that they truly desire. Thus, whenever any one of them is given the glad tidings of a female child, his very face grows dark, for he is filled with suppressed rage. He hides himself from the people because of the bad tidings that he was given. Should he keep it with disgrace or bury it alive in the dust? Most assuredly, so very grievous is the judgment they make. Then how evil an attribution those who do not believe in the hereafter make to God. Yet to God alone belongs the most transcendent attribute, for He alone is the overpowering one, the all-wise. Thus, were God to hold people accountable in this world, in accordance with their wrongdoing, He would not leave on the surface of the earth a single living creature. However, he defers them to a stated term for reckoning, known only to him. But when their turn comes due, they shall not tarry for even an hour, nor shall they go in advance of their time. And thus do they ascribe to God what they utterly detest for themselves, even as their tongues represent the lie that awaiting them in the hereafter is great goodness. Without doubt, for them the fire of hell awaits, and most surely they shall be hastened into it at once. By God, very truly, we have sent revealed guidance to communities before you. Yet Satan made all the evil that they were doing fair seeming to them, and he is their patron in unbelief, enticing them to false worship until this very day. But for all of them there is a most painful torment awaiting in the hereafter. And so it is, O Prophet, that we have sent down the Quran as a heavenly book to you, specifically to make clear to them the imperatives of faith about which they dispute. Thus it is indeed a guidance to salvation and a mercy for the well-being of a people who believe in divine revelation, just as it is God alone who sends down from the sky water with which He gives life to the earth after its death. Indeed, in all of this, there is a sure sign for a people who would hear and give ear. O people, in cattle of every kind, there is indeed a sure lesson for you. We give you to drink of what is within their bellies, produced alongside excretion and blood, a pure milk, pleasingly palatable to those who drink it. And you drink as well of the fruit of date palms and grape wines, from which you make an intoxicating beverage, as well as wholesome provision. Indeed, in all of this, there is a sure sign for a people who would use their reason to understand. Moreover, your Lord has revealed to the bees Take dwellings for yourselves in the mountains and in the trees and in the hives that people construct for you. Then eat of every fruit you desire and go through the pathways of your Lord, made easy for you. There issues from their insides a sweet fluid, its colors varying, in which there is healing for people. Indeed, in all of this, there is a sure sign for a people who would reflect on the wonder of creation. Thus, it is God alone who has created all of you. Then, in time, He takes your souls. Yet some of you are reduced by old age to the most abject state of life before death, such that one, after having knowledge, will not know anything. Indeed, God is all-knowing, all-powerful. Now, God has favored some of you above others in abundance of provision. Yet those so favored would never think to hand over all their own provision to bondservants they rightfully possess, so that all of them might become equal partners therein. How could they then assume to ascribe partners as equals to God, and thereby deny God's own blessings upon them? Yet it is God alone who has made for you from among yourselves pairs, male and female, and He has made for you from your mates children and grandchildren. He has provided you, moreover, with all that is wholesome in life. Then is it in falsehood they shall believe, while in the blessings of God they disbelieve? For they worship apart from God what holds not even a drop or grain of provision for them in all the heavens and the earth, and what are utterly unable to provide even for themselves. So, do not set forth any likeness to God. Indeed, God knows, and you do not know. God set forth this parable. There is a slave in bondage who has no power over anything, and another who is free, whom we have provided with a goodly provision from us, such that he spends charitably from it, in private and in public. Are they equal in worldly status? All praise is for God alone, but most of them are disbelievers and do not know God. God set forth another parable of two men. One of them is mute, incapable of anything. Moreover, he is an utter burden on his guardian, for whenever he directs him, he brings no good. Is he equal to one who bids to justice, while he himself is guided upon a straight way of salvation? Indeed, to God alone belongs the knowledge of all the unseen realities of the heavens and the earth. Thus, the matter of the hour of doom is never further off than the twinkling of an eye, or nearer still. For indeed, God is powerful over all things. Moreover, it is God alone who has brought you forth from the bellies of your mothers, knowing nothing at all. Yet he made for you the faculties of hearing and sight, and hearts that comprehend, so that you may learn and give thanks. Do they who deny God not look upon the flying birds, made to master flying in the air of the sky? None holds them aloft but God. Indeed, in all of this, there are sure signs of God's omnipotence for a people who believe. Moreover, it is God alone who has enabled you to make for yourselves houses as places of rest and residence, and he has enabled you to make for yourselves tents from the hides of cattle, which you find light to carry on your day of journeying, and on the day you encamp, and for you in cattle, in their wool, fur, and hair, are manifold furnishings and utility for a preordained time. Moreover, it is God alone who provides shade for you out of that which he has created, and he has made for you places of refuge in the mountains, and he has made for you garments that shield you from heat and the elements, as well as armored garments that shield you from harm in your battles. And so it is that He perfects His blessings upon you, so that you may submit yourselves to Him alone in worship. Yet, if they turn away from this message, then what is incumbent upon you, O Prophet, is only the clear conveyance of God's word. They well recognize the blessing of God, then they thanklessly belie it by turning to false gods, for most of them are disbelievers. Yet on the day hereafter, when we raise up from every community its messenger as a witness, testifying to its faith or faithlessness, there will be no permission given for the disbelievers to speak, nor will they then be allowed to procreate the wrath of God for their ungodliness. And when at last the godless wrongdoers see the torment of hell, then will they realize that it shall never be lightened for them, nor shall they be reprieved. Moreover, when those who associated gods with God in the world see their associate gods on Judgment Day, they will say, Our Lord, these are our associate gods that we used to call upon apart from you. Then their alleged gods will cast their word back upon them, saying, Indeed, you are most surely liars. Thus, they who in their lifetimes disbelieved will prefer to God on that day full submission. For all the false gods that they used to forge shall have strayed from them. So, as to those who disbelieve and bar people from the path of God, we shall increase them on that day with punishment for their obstruction, on top of punishment for their unbelief, for all the corruption they have been spreading in the earth. Thus, on Judgment Day, we shall raise up from within every community, from amongst themselves, a prophet in witness against them. And we shall bring you, O Prophet, as a witness over all these people. For we have sent down to you the Quran as a revealed book to make all things that God has enjoined and forbidden clear, and as divine guidance to salvation for all people, and as a way to God's mercy for the believers. And thus it is a glad tidings of everlasting delight near their Lord for all those who are Muslims in willing submission to God alone. O humankind, indeed, God commands the execution of justice among you, and the doing of good to all, and the giving of charity to close relatives. Moreover, He forbids all obscenity and shameful deeds and aggression. He admonishes you with this so that you may become mindful of His commandments. Thus you shall fulfill the covenant of God whenever you make a covenant, and you shall not break your oaths after their affirmation, for indeed you have made God a guarantor over you. Indeed, God knows all that you do. Then do not be like the woman who unravels her yarn into fibers after it has been spun firmly by taking your oaths as instruments of deception between you, so as to breach your covenants with one group of people for another group more abundant in power and wealth. God only puts you to the test by this, for most surely He shall make clear to you on the day of resurrection that about which you have disputed in life. Yet, had God so willed, He would have made all of you one faith community without choice. Thus, know that God does indeed leave to stray whomever He so wills, and He alone guides whomever He so wills. For most surely all of you shall be questioned about what you have done in life. So, do not take your oaths as instruments of deception between you, such that your foot should slip after it once had been set firm, and wherefore you would be given to taste the affliction of evil in this life, for having barred others from coming to the way of God by your shameful example. Moreover, there would be for you in the hereafter a great torment. So, do not sell the covenant of God for a small price. Indeed, what is with God is far better for you, if only you were to know. All that is with you in life shall come to an end, but what is with God is everlasting, and we shall certainly recompense those who have remained patient with their reward in accordance with the very best they ever did. Whoever does righteous deeds, whether male or female, and is a believer, we shall most surely cause him to live a good life. Moreover, we shall most surely recompense all of them with their reward in accordance with the very best they ever did. Thus, whenever you recite the Quran, then seek refuge in God from Satan, the accursed one. Yet, indeed, he has no authority whatever over those who believe and who rely upon their Lord alone. His authority is only over those who take him as a patron and who, because of him, take associate gods apart from God. Yet, if ever we substitute one verse in place of another verse to benefit humankind, and God knows best what He sends down, they say, "You, O Muhammad, are nothing but a forger." Rather, most of them do not know God's way. Say to them, Gabriel, the Holy Spirit, has brought it down from your Lord with the whole truth to confirm in faith those who have believed, and as divine guidance from error and a glad tidings of everlasting delight near their Lord for all those who are Muslims in willing submission to God alone. And very truly, we know that they say, O Prophet, no one but a human being is teaching him this, even though the tongue of the one to whom they allude is foreign, while this Quran is in a clear Arabic tongue. As to those who do not believe in the revealed signs of God shall not guide them aright. Thus for them there is a most painful torment awaiting in the hereafter. As to the ones who forge such lies, they are the ones who do not believe in the revealed signs of God. Thus it is they who are the liars. Doomed is one who openly disbelieves in God after professing his faith, except for one who has been compelled to renounce his belief, while his heart remains at peace with faith. But whoever willingly opens his heart to unbelief, upon such as these there shall be great wrath from God. Thus for them there is a great torment awaiting in the hereafter. That is because they so loved the life of this world over that of the hereafter. Yet, indeed, God does not guide a disbelieving people. These are the ones whose hearts and hearing and sight God has set a seal upon, for it is these who are the heedless. Without doubt, it is they in the hereafter who shall be the losers of an everlasting paradise. Yet, indeed, your Lord declares concerning those who emigrated after they had been persecuted, and who thereafter strove in the path of God and remained patient. Indeed, after all of this, your Lord shall most surely be all forgiving and mercy giving. But beware of the day when every soul shall come before God, pleading on behalf of itself, and when each soul shall be rendered in full for all that it has done in life, and never shall they be wronged in the least. Now God puts forth this parable of a town. It was secure and peaceable. Its provision would come to it in plenty from every locale. Then it belied God's own blessings upon it by worshipping false gods. Thus, God gave it a touch of the garment of hunger and fear for what they had wrought. For truly there had come to them a messenger from among themselves, but they belied him. Thus the torment seized them suddenly, for they were indeed wrongdoers, godless in heart. So stand firm in faith, O you who believe, and eat from what God has provided you, if it be lawful and wholesome. Yet give thanks for the blessing of God, if indeed it is He alone whom you worship. Indeed, He has but forbidden you to eat carrion and blood and the flesh of swine, and that over which, other than the name of God, is invoked at the time of slaughter. But whoever is compelled by the circumstance to eat any of this without being rebellious and without being a willful transgressor will find then that God is indeed all forgiving, mercy giving. And you shall not say by way of falsehoods that your tongues represent such and such is lawful, and such is forbidden, so as to forge a lie against God. Indeed, those who forge lies against God shall not succeed. Small enjoyment have they in life, and then a most painful torment awaits them. As to those of Jewry, we forbade what we have previously narrated to you. We did not wrong them therein, but rather it was their own souls that they were all the while wronging with ungodliness. Yet, indeed, your Lord declares concerning those who did misdeeds in ignorance of true faith, but thereafter repented and set things aright. Indeed, after all of this, your Lord shall more surely be all forgiving, mercy giving. As for Abraham, he was in himself a nation of exemplary faith, devoutly obedient to God, upright of heart, and never was he of the idolaters. He was ever thankful to God for his blessings. So God chose him and guided him, to a straight way of salvation. Thus we gave him great good in this world, and in the hereafter he shall most surely be of the righteous. Whereupon we have revealed to you, O Prophet, that you shall follow the sacred way of Abraham, the purely upright in heart, and never was he of those who associated gods with God. The Sabbath day of solemn rest was not enjoined on Abraham, but was ordained only for the Jews, who themselves disputed about it long after Abraham. Thus, indeed, your Lord shall most surely judge between them on the day of resurrection as to that wherein they have been disputing. Call to the path of your Lord, O Prophet, with sound wisdom and fair admonition. And as to all people, argue gently with them in the fairest manner. Indeed, it is your Lord alone who knows best all those who have strayed from his straight path, and he knows best all those who are guided aright. Moreover, if you believers punish aggressors, then punish them with the like of that with which you have been afflicted by them. But if you remain patient, it is most surely better for those who are patient. So be patient, O Prophet, yet know that your patience shall not endure through adversity, except with the help of God. Thus, do not grieve over those of them who oppose you, nor be in any distress because of what they plot against you. Indeed, God is with those who are God-fearing and who excel in doing good.